Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nupehadda. Today we have the release of the 2016 of August ban list, and let's just say that there are some good and some bad things about this. Let's start with the forbidden list. Performance Pal Monkey Board. We already knew that this card needed banning a long time ago, ever since before it came out in TCG. We knew that it needed to be hit, and it finally took them this long to actually hit this card. Monkey Board is just one of those cards that gives you so much advantage it's not even funny. And it was pretty much an unfair advantage and all that. Then we get to the oddball band, Kaiser's Coliseum. Now I know back in the Bujin era, the Kaiser's Coliseum was a big thing, but I didn't think it warranted a ban, not even really a mention, unless Konami has something going on in the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! That they had to get rid of this. Um, there's not much I can say about it, really. Limited. Sir of the Burning Abyss. We kind of already knew this was going to happen. It was either going to be Sir was going to get limited or banned. And the original prediction, at least for me, was that Dante and Sir would get limited. They would not touch Beatrix, and pretty much they'll deal with that. But fortunately, they only hit Sir when it came to the Burning Abyss monsters. The Heavenly Monarch. I'm not going to try to pronounce its name. I just don't care. This card pretty much it's the vein of everyone's existence when it came to the Stormforth. Pretty much you summon this, you summon the other guy, and or whatever you needed, and you pretty much continue to get a hand advantage. This going to one, I say it should have been banned, but I guess it's fine at one for now. Cosmo Dark Destroyer. We already predicted this. Cosmo the Dark Destroyer needed to either be hit or banned. Heading to one will definitely put it down to tier 2 or tier 1.5, depending on how you really want to do that. I personally round it up, but tier 2 is probably going to be the best Cosmo is going to do now. If they do get 1.5 tier, I'll be surprised. Magic Spectre Unicorn Krillin. I'm going to be professional about this. This card should never have been made. Not only does it has a quick effect that can target practically any card on the field and bounce back a pendulum monster, but you can't target it nor destroy it by card effects. And you might think that you can just kill it in battle and everything like that, but the first part you gotta remember, this is a quick effect. It can do it any time, which for the majority of decks nowadays, which they are leaning away from targeting effects, but there are still some decks that are heavily relying on targeting effects. And when you can't get rid of a card that keeps coming back from the extra deck by pendulum summoning, it hurts. Speaking of the Eternal Lady, Beatrix the Eternal Lady went to 1. This is actually a surprise on my part. I didn't predict that she would get hit because if you got rid of Dante, you pretty much dealt with the whole Eternal Lady thing. But putting her at 1 does give us the advantage here. First of all, Dante is still at 3, which means Burning Abyss is still alive. Another year! Yay! But in all seriousness and everything, Burning Abyss did get hit. It's a soft hit, but it's one of those hits that I think will actually be significant because with Eternal Lady at 1, it's going to be a lot harder for them to maintain field presence, especially with the newer stuff that are coming out and everything. I don't see Burning Abyss die, but I don't see them winning any major events in the future. They might go into tier 2.0 or 2.5, depending on what people can figure out. Emergency Teleport went to 1. This card, probably for the best that we had this at 1. It was at 1 for the longest time, and then it went to 3, and then it went down, and now it's went down to 1 again, and it needs to stay there. The trap card for the Monarchs, I do not know. Pathism or something like that. It went to 1, which I personally think it should have been banned, but that's just me. The main thing you got to know about Monarchs now is that they're dead. Monarchs are dead as a competitive deck. They'll still be played for fun and everything like that, but they are just like Draco Pals. They died off in the last ban list. So Monarchs and Draco Pals died within a year. Pendulum Call. This card needed to be hit so badly. This card was stupid. Not only was it able to allow you to search for two different Pendulum Magicians, but it also protected them until your next turn. Then we got the Monarch Stormforth, which goes to 1 now, which is fine at some points. I personally think it should have been banned, but as I said, Monarchs are not dead. Semi-limited, and this is going to be the first of the most craziest things I've ever seen. Max C goes to 2. My only real question is why. Max C does not do anything in terms of hurting the other player. It just prevents them from exploding like crazy when it comes to their field advantage and everything like that. Max C is pretty much the most well-balanced card we've ever had to go against other people when it came to hand traps. Effect Veiler effectively, negates anything as long as it doesn't have a protection against targeting effects. But Max C, unless your deck was designed for stalling or anything like that, which there are some stall decks, don't get me wrong on that, but unless it's specifically designed for the meta, top tier stalling and everything like that, Max C was not doing anything that they could not get around. So I don't understand. I think Max C should have still be at 3. Thunder King Ryo is back at 2. It was at 2 at one point, I believe, or it might have just went straight to 1. I'm not entirely sure. I have to look that up. But Thunder King finally coming up where it needed to be is a good thing, because that means there is now more cards that can stop the special summon and everything like that, and it's not really so much as a bad thing for them. It's a 1900 attack, level 4 Thunder Light monster, so Wind Up Magician went to 2. Well, wind-ups are pretty much dead, so they've been dead for the longest time, so we'll skip on that. No longer limited is Thousand Eyes Restrict, which was already apparent because Thousand Eyes was not doing anything, so it could come off the list. Went to 1 last ban list, and now this ban list it goes to 3. So that's okay. Allure of Darkness going to 3. This is kind of an interesting choice. Maybe it's because Cosmos finally got the axe, but as I said before, Cosmos is still going to be around. They're not going to be as powerful as they were, but they still have what they need. They also have Cosmo Tower, or I keep saying Tower, Cosmo Town, which they can get their resources back with Allure. Go Sarcophagus. This is an interesting choice, and yet I can see a few reasons why they went to 3, but I can also see a few reasons why it should not go on to 3. Case in point, Cosmos is definitely going to be using this. And like they won't use it for a at 3 or anything like that. They'll use it maybe like 1 or 2 because they can easily get it from their field card, whatever they need. There are some cards I wish they hit, but they didn't hit at all. But pretty much every card I just mentioned, everything like this, on the new list. Oh no, this is not a bad list. I just question some of their decisions. And there's no new cards that came from the ban list to any other part of the list. So we do not have Heavy Storm, we do not have Harshest Favor Duster, we don't have Book of Moon, which people are raging about, which I do not understand. And the good thing is, Elemental Hero Strauss is still banned, so that's a plus. Well, that's pretty much all I got time for, and hopefully I'll see y'all next time. Good night.